bantamweight, a weight at which Johnson, who was a masterful flyweight, has had problems. This was supposed to be a kind of minor title fight, but Johnson could not make the 118-pound limit. He hadn't fought in a year and a half, and apparently he just came out for the money, and he said for a shot at the title, but he can't even get anywhere close to that weight. You see 132 pounds as his weight in a little while ago, so you just have to assume that Too Sharp is maybe a little beyond his sharpest and is just here for a payday, incidentally 10% less than the $45,000 he was originally contracted for because he didn't make the championship weight.
For the Gonzalez-Johnson fight, rules of the bout according to our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Jhonny Gonzalez-Mark Johnson fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules that you see on your screen. James, real quick, the 4 criteria that the judges will use to score each individual round: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean, effective punching. James.
All right, Harold, as we take a look at Mark Too Sharp Johnson, inactive, longest inactivity, 19 months. And Emmanuel, you were very candid in saying why he came out of semi-retirement, if you will, to take this bout.
Well, it seems like from every indication when making a weight and not even making a final attempt to make the weight, which means that even if he wins, he can't win the championship of the world, which deep down to me seems like he didn't even think that he would win anyway. It's bad to have that type attitude going into a fight. And also, every time that he's fought at 118 pounds that I can remember, he's lost. It's strange how the 115 pound he's been very effective, but 3 pounds or more, he continually has lost fights. Never been effective at this weight.
Larry, he certainly was, Mark Too Sharp Johnson, very convincing in the meeting, saying that he's got all of Washington, D.C. on his back. He wants to have his name in the record books. Were you able to sift through that week to get to the core?
Well, that's him just jiving himself, basically. He's already there. He was, as his father and trainer Ham puts it, he was too small and too good. By too small, he meant that a flyweight, an American flyweight, has great difficulty in being able to be marketed and sold unless he is a Latino. And by being too good, he couldn't get the top fighters in his weight class to get in the ring with him. He had an outstanding career. He's going to go in the Hall of Fame. But now, I don't know, maybe he's that definition of shot fighter we talked about earlier.
Well, I'm wondering if pride will play a role here, because he said that he recognizes, Johnson, that his opponent, Jhonny Gonzalez, wants his name, Johnson's name, on the resume to look good. As we take a look at Jhonny Gonzalez now, I tripped in talking about Jhonny Gonzalez, calling him Johnny Johnson. That is not a mistype on our part at all, Harold, the spelling of the name, Larry.
Yeah, well, apparently there was a dyslexic clerk when his parents registered his name and wrote J-H-O instead of J-O-H. And so he's kept the name Jhonny, J-H-O-N-N-Y, all of his life. But what's really interesting in him is he's given a new meaning to the term street fighter. He actually trains in the street in Mexico City. He sets up a ring, all of his paraphernalia. Maybe it's some kind of a little square there, cars whizzing all around him, and he's training, and he is a really serious bantamweight.
Larry, so let me be clear as I turn to Emmanuel. You're saying that this ring is set up in the middle of a thoroughfare with cars going around the ring.
Yes, it's in the center lane. I asked him, was it on the side? He said, no, in the middle of the street, the center lane, and the cars have to go around on the outside. I would hate to be traded because somebody might make a mistake and keep going straight ahead. But nevertheless, that is what you call a real street fighter. And evidently in Mexico City, it's hard for me to see because it's such a big city, not a small.
Well, the car fumes have not affected him at all because he is quite the fighter indeed. Let's go inside the ring and get the official introduction from Michael Buffer.
Ladies Ladies and gentlemen, from the Mandalay Bay Resort Casino of Las Vegas, this is the co-featured bout of the evening, sponsored by Rockstar Energy Drink. Party like a rock star. The three judges assigned at ringside by the Nevada State Athletic Commission will be Dwayne Ford, Robert Hoyle, and Lou Moret. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Kenny Bayless. So now from the Mandalay Bay of Las Vegas, Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions in association with DeBella Entertainment proudly present 12 rounds, a special attraction in the Bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red, official weight 119.5 pounds. Professional record, 44 victories, including 28 knockouts, with only 4 defeats. From our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., here is the former 3-time world champion, Mark Too Sharp Johnson. And his opponent, across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trimmed with silver, official weight 117 pounds. Professional record, 31 victories, including 27 knockouts, only 4 defeats. Damas y caballeros de Ciudad de Mexico. His title not on the line tonight, the reigning WBO Bantamweight Champion of the World, Jhonny Gonzalez.
Okay, gentlemen. Trunk line here is okay. Trunk line here is okay. Anything below will be considered a low blow. Now, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want to caution you, keep the fight clean at all times, protect yourself at all times, and what I say you must obey. Good luck. Buena suerte, touch class.
The recognized bantamweight champion of the world is Rafael Marquez. Jhonny Gonzalez is hoping to use this fight as a stepping stone or launching pad into a fight with Marquez, which would be the best that could be made at this weight. Let's see if Johnson can give him some more problems than he anticipates.
Emmanuel mentioned the lack of success by Mark Too Sharp Johnson at this weight. Jhonny Gonzalez acutely aware of that and plans to incorporate that in his game plan to press him upstairs and downstairs when he gets a chance.
But you know, even though he's lost the last couple of fights that I saw, at least one of them, he still has never looked slow and that, you know, in bad timing. It just he fought guys who nailed him dead on the chin. But he didn't lose his reflexes, seemingly, our coordination. Gonzalez is a little rare for the Mexican fighters, but most of them turn professional sometimes at 15, 16. Very seldom have long amateur careers. He had nearly 180 amateur fights, fought internationally, Pan Am championships. Very unusual for a Mexican fighter to have that type of amateur background.
And you talk about that amateur background, Emmanuel, quite successful indeed, but thought about quitting after 2 early losses, but his dad, who trains him, talked him into continuing.
Lost his first 2 professional fights.
His dad was evidently a very good fighter himself. Also, was looking at his record and talking to him. It seemed like he had a pretty good background. He started Jhonny to box when he was a little kid.
Feeling out process in the early going here in round 1. These two were actually supposed to have fought back in September, but Johnson hurt his shoulder. But Gonzalez kept his eye on him throughout.
Well, if Gonzalez wants to have Johnson's name on his resume, he seems to be showing a little bit too much respect for him at this moment.
Yeah, Johnson is cagey, a little fighter, but still, I think that Gonzalez is going to pick it up. A lot of the Mexican fighters start off slow sometime like this, but pretty soon he's going to pick it up. Very good counter jab by Johnson there.
Sharp right indeed.
You know, it's one thing you have to be a little careful going in with because he still has those good reflexes and a good counter puncher. But as the fight goes on, it's going to get heated.
Well, an uneventful first round. Bit more action toward the last few seconds of round number 1. And we'll see if round 2 will show us a lot more action.
In my opinion, that one counter right jab could have won the round for Johnson.
Ray Torres will be our interpreter for Jhonny Gonzalez.
He's afraid of you. He's afraid, and you'll get into the combinations, and he'll stay away. Whatever you want. Jab. He's a little guy. Don't go so low. You stay tall.
And you got to get off just a little bit more. Okay? Doing beautiful. Take your time, keep your hands up. Take your hands up.
Well, they both not only will have to get off a little more, but connect a bit more as well, too. Gonzalez in round 1, 23 punches thrown, only 4 landed. Johnson, 36 thrown, only 3 connected.
Emmanuel, a fighter having trouble with weight, as Johnson plainly has, does that enter into the opponent's plan?
Yeah, I think that the fact that Johnson probably spent more time the last few weeks trying to make weight than he did concentrating on actually the boxing skills and training properly. And, you know, you look at Gonzalez, you can see he's a natural. I've looked at his record. He's been fighting nearly his whole life at the same weight, around 117, 118 pounds. But it does affect you a lot, and especially when you go a long time and that weight gets to be like a part of your body, not just a temporary weight. And then when you lose that weight, it really upsets your whole metabolism of your body off after you've carried it so long.
Yeah, but if you don't make the guy who's having trouble with weight work, then he's not going to have any trouble.
Right, but I think he's going to pick up here in a few moments. But don't forget, Johnson has had a reputation of upsetting a lot of good young Mexican fighters also. So, you know, I'm quite sure that Gonzalez has a lot of respect for him, maybe too much.
Although not with a brawling style at all, Mark Too Sharp Johnson. As a matter of fact, he was quite emphatic when we asked him about a brawling style.
Yeah.
Nice right there by Gonzalez.
Oh, there it was.
Yeah.
Putting Johnson back on his heels.
And you see what he's doing? He's mixing up. He threw a straight right hand, and the next time he threw it more of a hook right to side.
Left counter by Gonzalez, connecting on the noggin of Johnson.
Even though it's not exciting, I think Gonzalez is fighting a very beautiful fight.
Because
he's technically, systematically picking his fight apart and getting his rhythm to going now. And he's pretty much sorting out the body movement and the rhythm and style of Johnson. And Johnson is still a very Cajun, savvy type fighter. You don't just get careless and run in there with him. He's a very good fighter.
So while maybe not fan-friendly, tactically sound by Gonzalez?
I think it's a very good sound fight that he's fighting.
Well, if the first round was decided by a counter jab, this round was decided by a straight right hand.
One punch, you mean, where's the round?
Rounds like these.
Miguel Cotto versus Gianluca Branco coming up in Puerto Rico. You guys will be there doing that one. Hasim Rahman against James Toney. That'll be Saturday, March 18th.
One down, drop the brick.
Upcoming bouts here on HBO.
Okay, throw it at his power hand. Throw his power hand. Long as you square, he's gonna hit you with a jab. Right? Get down here. Get down here. Make him reach for it. But you can't stay out here because he can jab and hit you anything you want. But now you dig that body. 2 and 3 jabs. You got the rhythm. Get your rhythm. Don't stand.
Right there you see Gonzalez shoot a right hand straight down the center. If you notice, Johnson had no movement at all. He didn't slip to the left or to the right. And in most of the fights now that I think about it, when he was knocked out with that exact same punch. Seemingly he had difficulty in seeing straight right hands at this stage of his career.
Trainer's father, Ham Johnson, to say the least, a very colorful character.
Animated.
Yes, indeed, animated. As is his son, by the way. Johnson jabbing, but not with any real purpose.
No, it's more of a probe, like a fielding type jab.
Being picked off by Gonzalez each time.
But Gonzalez is going to have to make him step it up a little bit. Start now, he should, because if he has had problems making weight and not in the best of shape, he's going to have to make the pace be a little bit more intense. Otherwise, Johnson could set out and pick him apart. And this fight could actually be a very technical fight. Johnson could possibly win a decision.
Left to the body by Too Sharp.
It seems like Johnson's trying to, Jhonny is trying to get close where he can get the short right hand right through the middle. He's trying to lean in a little bit more before he shoots the punch, but I think he's trying to get better range for a short right hand.
Fans getting restless. Can't blame them.
Although Gonzalez stays in character despite the boos, and Johnson, of course, the cagey veteran, accustomed to that.
Gonzalez is getting a little closer now. He's getting a little closer with his punches, and he mixes up his punches. He'll probably throw those slow looping shots and then change up the next time he shoots short punches.
Keep moving. Keep on the move. Keep on the move. Keep up. Keep up. Give his power. Don't do it, man. There you go. There you go. Pick it up. Pick it up. Walk. Walk. Double it through. Hands, double it through. Now get up. Come around. Get the shot. Stop.
Although too few of them thrown, power connects in favor of Gonzalez. Into the Shane Mosley dressing room for the instructions from the referee.
Comes out. When it's a low in the action, I'll call time. We have it replaced. No Vaseline, no water, no instructions. Watch the low punches here. The kidney punches, rabbit punches, all illegal. There's no saving by the bell in any round, including the last round. If there's an accidental headbutt, after 4 completed rounds, we go to the scorecard. Who's ever ahead will win. Okay? Any questions? Any questions from the Chiefs?
No question. I guess we have the same concern they had with the excessive holding and the heads.
Okay, anything with holding or headbutts and all that, I'll take control of that. Don't retaliate. If you get hit with a low blow and you retaliate, yours is intentional. His may be accidental. So be careful with that, okay? Because I don't want to be disqualifying fighters or taking any points. All right? My man, God bless you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good instructions.
From one of the best.
From one of the best.
Joe Cortez.
Yeah.
Round 4.
Round 4, I think now the fight will begin. Now I think Gonzalez is going to step it up. I think he's figured out the rhythm of Johnson. So one way or the other now he's going to step it up. I see him getting closer and closer now.
Let's get the rhythm of Harold.
That's the right hand, straight
Harold.
right hand.
Okay, James, 29-28, 2 rounds to 1, Jhonny Gonzalez. James, I gotta tell you, in round 1, Mark Two Shot Johnson probably won it with his 1 counter punch. Manuel was right. In round 2 and 3, Jhonny Gonzalez started to walk down Mark Johnson just like he's doing now. Gets off first, and most of all, he backs him up. Mark Johnson can't win this fight going backwards. Jhonny Gonzalez, if he keeps taking it to him, will win easy. 2-1, Gonzalez.
The tempo of the particular Gonzalez's foot speed now is really intensifying more. He's getting much closer, so he don't have to have so much of a distance to start his punch. He's right there where he can just let it go without running and punching.
Oh, there it is. Nice left by Jhonny Gonzalez that puts down Mark Too Sharp Johnson. A knockdown
5,
indeed.
6,
Hit him
7,
on the back of the head.
And Gonzalez said that he was aware, acutely aware, of Johnson's difficulties of staying on his feet against fighters at this weight, and that is in his game plan. To press him upstairs and downstairs.
Well, he's putting a lot of pressure on him mentally, too, not just physically. He's not throwing a lot of punches, but he's steadily just getting in his face, and keeping him where he's just nervous all the time because he's much closer than Mark likes someone to be at when he's fighting. He likes to have a little bit more of a space, but he's now getting closer and closer, so mentally he's draining him now.
So that nervousness and tenseness equates to pressure.
Pressure, and it's been a lot of pressure. Not necessarily a lot of punches, but a lot of pressure.
Hold on, hold.
Again, just a probing jab being thrown by Mark Johnson.
Yeah, Mark don't know what to expect now.
Low blow, very low blow thrown by Mark Johnson. Sportsmanship touch there. Kenny Davis right on top of it. Good flurry. Right by Johnson. Action picking up demonstrably in this round here.
Yeah, it's turning out to be maybe a case of who can take the best punch.
Mark Johnson has decided to make a stand right here.
And I respect him for that, too.
And a left, 2 lefts connected by Gonzalez.
Staggered by another punch.
I think that if Mark doesn't have the chin anymore, and that's going to be the big factor.
You wonder if this is his last stand.
A fan-pleasing round there.
Fuck his ass back. Fuck the bullshit. Walk in there.
Hey. Mark, put your hands up. Here, take a minute. Take a minute. Come on now. Don't you know? Izquierdo, ¿sale? Ya lo viste, está bajando mucho la mano.
He's lowering his hand. When he gets in front of you, finish him off. You got him now. You got to do it.
A la hora que tú quieras, lo acabas.
You can see the knockdown as a right hook on the side of the head that really didn't seem like he had that much power, but more of just knocked him off balance. But he got up and acted as if he was hurt. Here you see him come back in a few moments with a low blow. And you really wonder if that was intentionally or not, because I didn't see where the guy normally would block and push the hand down.
So again, we see the game plan evolving, unfolding, as you indicated, tactically on the part of Jhonny Gonzalez.
Yeah, the fight is going to find his flavor now.
It looks like Johnson has decided that he has to attack, and that's his only chance.
Yeah, and I think his dad whispered in his ear, where we couldn't hear it on the microphone. They just told him, just take it to the guy now, try to fight him on the inside with short punches.
But he left the corner with the instructions, keep those hands up.
Yeah, but he's going to, but the fight is underway now. It's going to be a much more heated up fight. You know, and actually, I think Mark is doing good. I just, the biggest thing that I see, his ability to take a punch no longer is there. And because Gonzalez isn't the fastest guy in the world, especially for a small guy. He's kind of slow himself. But I just don't think that Mark can take a punch as good as Gonzalez, and that's going to be the difference.
Punches thrown by Johnson, picked off, except that right did connect on the right chin of Gonzalez.
Well, he's actually, I hate to say it, but he's faster than Gonzalez, I feel. But like I said, the ability to take a punch is going to be the difference. But Gonzalez is slower.
Now he turns conventional, does Johnson.
And all of this trickery is a little bit confusing to Gonzalez. I don't think he's fought anyone like this.
Body shot connected by Johnson. A counter by Gonzalez catches him.
He's doing the Jersey walkout move there now. I'm quite sure Gonzalez never saw that.
Dusting off some cobwebs.
Yeah.
Well, you know, now the question becomes, can Johnson fight an aggressive fight in his condition?
That's interesting. But you're right now, he's got Gonzalez trying to figure out what he's going to do, and that's giving him time to shuck and jab his way and get rest now.
Well, it shows some of his experience and versatility that here in the middle of a fight, he decided that he can change up and fight Gonzalez in a different way, a way that could be more effective.
And you know what I'm looking at here? If Mark Johnson had what he just a little bit ahead, he would beat Gonzalez, I think, because he's much more sharper and trickier. And Gonzalez is much slower. And also, he's doing the same thing continually.
One thing I think every fighter should do is to watch Johnson's head and shoulder movement. He still has that.
Yes,
at the age of 34.
And especially a guy named Mr. Morales. Especially when those straight left-hand missiles are coming in from a guy named Packard.
Mark, you're making them respect you. You got this.
All that bucket up here. All that bucket up here. Don't blow. You know better than that. You know better. You fighting smart, you got to put some hurt on him, though, champ.
Them, you fighting a smart.
Throw that right hand right to the chin. He's waiting for your right hand, but be careful. He's counter punching you. So try to fool him. Fool him and then throw the right hand.
Here you see Mark Johnson actually outsmarting and counter-punching Gonzalez, the younger fighter. He's jabbing him to the body, then pulling back just enough to let him miss, then coming back with a jab to the head with the same hand, and twisting and contorting himself to the point where he's got Gonzalez all in bad body position often.
So a younger Johnson certainly would have capitalized on that, but I'm wondering about the conditioning because as you saw there with the replay and of course in punches landed, Johnson not bad.
No, he's effective. I think if he was a little bit younger, even had trained maybe probably a little bit longer, possibly could have won the fight. And still may.
Round 6 of 12. Johnson, good counter. Getting through straight.
I think Johnson now has got his confidence up. He's got his rhythm, and I think he's lost a lot of the respect and all that he had of Gonzalez coming into the fight.
Well, and perhaps his own confusion about his own conditioning and what he could do. But you have to give him all the credit in the world. There was a point in that fight where it looked okay. Mark is going home. He's not going to stand out here and take this stuff much longer. And he just decided to change up, attack, and suddenly you get the feeling that he may work himself back into the fight.
I think a combination of his skills and his mindset, as you said, Larry, now he decided to be a little bit more effective. Plus, the actually lack of speed of Gonzalez combined together means this can be a competitive fight.
That body shot by Johnson halted the advancement of Gonzalez, who had to step back to collect himself.
Gonzalez had won 17 straight fights coming into this fight. Nothing landed square there.
Even if he did, it's just so slow for a small man to be punching at the speed that he's punching at. And I think at this stage now, Johnson is warmed up to the speed where he doesn't even fear it too much anymore.
Shots caught by the elbows of Johnson. Uppercut was not caught on the chin instead. Delivered by Gonzalez. And it's Mark Johnson walking Gonzalez down.
Yeah, that's the instructions he's getting from his dad. It's to take it and be more aggressive with Gonzalez, because I think he doesn't have that much fear or respect now.
Well, he's going to try to steal the round, perhaps. You know, the aptly named Ham Johnson trying to get his attention to try to win these last few seconds, but he's not been able to do it. Good round for Gonzalez.
Stop back. Here we go, let him up.
The end of 6 in this bout between Gonzalez and Johnson as we check inside of Fernando Vargas's locker room as he gets the instructions from referee Joe Cortez.
When I say break, I want you to break clean. If there's a knockdown, you go to a neutral corner, you stay there until I tell you to come out. If you come out any sooner, I have to stop the count. So it will not be to your advantage coming out of the corner. Make sure you remain there. There's no 3 knockdown rules up to my discretion. It could be more than 3 knockdowns in the same round. Watch your low punches, your kidney punches, and your rabbit punches. If the mouthpiece comes out, make sure, or I'll call time, there'll be a low in the action. No Vaseline, no water, no instructions. Okay, understood? Okay? If there's an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecard after 4 completed rounds. Whoever ahead will win. Don't hit your opponent while he's down. If he goes down, you hit him, he's down, it's going to cost you points, or you may be disqualified if you cannot continue. There's no saving by the bell in any round, including the last round. Okay, my man?
Main event, Vargas and Mosley coming up. Let's check in with Harold Letterman for his unofficial score.
Thank you, James. 5-1, 59-54, Jhonny Gonzalez. You know, James, I tell you the truth, I'm not terribly impressed by Jhonny Gonzalez so far in this fight, but be as it may, he's still coming forward, landing the better shots like you saw right there, landed a nice left hand and a nice right hand, and he's winning it on clean punching. Mark Johnson has to land more solid shots to win the round. Clean punching is 90% of scoring. 5-1, Gonzalez.
I have it 4-2, and with the knockdown, that would give him on my card a 3-point lead.
And to statistically embellish Harold Letterman's point, Gonzalez landed 22 shots of 61 thrown in round 6. Johnson only 6 of 45.
Watch your head, work out, watch your head.
Johnson still attempting to walk down Gonzalez, but as Harold mentioned, needing to connect, which Gonzalez is doing.
I think fatigue is setting in a lot. And see, Mark sees punches coming, but he's having a problem of getting out of the way of them because he's just becoming exhausted now.
Well, if Mark Johnson doesn't want to brawl, which he says clearly is not his style, he's seen too many examples of guys who've been badly affected as a result. He's got to be able to connect a lot more than he's done.
Yeah, I think at this stage, I'm looking at him, I don't think he's going to be doing too much of anything much longer. I think the exhaustion, inactivity, weight loss, and everything else is taking its effect now.
You know, I asked him, you know, whether he would have traded his style, which was a beautiful boxing style with power, to become a brawler if he could have made more money and become more popular. And he indicated, no, that's not who he was. He was perfectly happy being the kind of fighter he was, which was just outstanding and dominant at the lower weight, unbeatable for a number of years until he beat himself.
indeed too sharp back then, and his corner will have to deal with blood coming from Mark Johnson's nose.
Put it up on here. No. You want to win?
Yeah.
You can't want to win. You got to go fight. You know why you got to go fight? You're laying back, letting the man jab you. You're rocking the head, but you ain't doing nothing about it. Okay? You're moving your head, but you ain't doing nothing about it. Now look, all we got to do is rock and roll the step. We got to get close to him, and let your hands speak. Throw your brick in there.
You got to get close to him. He's finished. You can finish him off. Yeah, jab. Use your jab. You got conditioning. You got everything, talent and all. Go for it.
Crystal clear evening here in Las Vegas. Main event coming up after this one. We are now into round 8. Gonzalez has outlanded Johnson 39-12 in the last 2 rounds and by 54 through 7 rounds. Punches connecting still for Gonzalez and dropping Johnson to his knees.
Exhausting his face. It was just a matter of time. Any punch may end the fight because he just exhausted now. Very difficult for him to do anything offensive.
9. That's it.
And Johnson clearly indicating with the look to his corner before getting up at the count of 10, he was done.
Yeah, he didn't get hurt in the fight. Made a good paycheck.
That, as we said earlier, is the definition of a shot fighter. The body may be willing, but the spirit isn't there anymore. Not willing to absorb the punishment, to get to the target, and to win. Once upon a time, he was as good as it gets.
No question.
But everybody's time runs out.
And it was a good victory for Gonzalez, but I was not overly impressed tonight.
Well, Mark Johnson said he did not want to be a name on Jhonny Gonzalez's resume, and that is exactly what the case will be and is. And Emmanuel, you said exhaustion played as much a role in this as anything.
Yes, it was just a matter of time. If you would look, and even prior to this, he was just mainly on defense. He was no longer offensive-minded at all.
You know, he took his one stand there late in the 4th round to see if he could somehow turn it around, but it was his last stand and probably his last hurrah.
And as the young fellow Gonzalez told us, the victor there, that he knew that Johnson could not take the punishment upstairs or downstairs at this weight, will pressure him to capitalize on that, and that is exactly what took place. Jhonny Gonzalez improves to 32-4. No defeats. 28 knockouts now. Even though, as Emmanuel said, not displaying the kind of speed you would expect for someone at this weight. Oscar De La Hoya, the promoter, congratulating one of his fighters. Golden Boy Productions, of course, doing the job here tonight in Las Vegas. Let's go up to Michael Buffer with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Kenny Bayless reaches the count of 10. The official time, 1 minute, 8 seconds of round number 8. The winner by knockout victory, Jhonny Gonzalez.
Final punch stat count as you take a look at it. Total punches thrown by Gonzalez, outlanding Mark Johnson 101-40. A busy fighter in the later rounds for sure, but again, executing the game plan to perfection, recognizing what he had to do against Mark Too Sharp Johnson. And power punches demonstrably in favor of Gonzalez. 74 landed to just 26 for Mark Johnson. And again, a guy who at one point was simply outstanding, hopefully will not torture his fans too much more with any other fights like this. Let's go inside the ring to Larry Merchant with the winner.
Thank you, JB. Congratulations. Even though he is far from his prime, how important is it to you to beat a fighter of Mark Johnson's stature?
Aunque él ya no está en su mejor tiempo, qué importante fue ganarle a un peleador con el récord que tenía Johnson.
No, pues muy importante porque sé que él todavía, aunque está grande, él todavía tiene mucha experiencia. Ustedes lo pudieron ver, un peleador todavía que se mueve, que sabe pensar arriba del cuadrilátero. Nos costó un poco de trabajo, pero gracias a Dios ganamos.
Yeah, it's very important to beat a guy like a veteran with a lot of experience like him. You saw that he's very shifty and cagey, but we prevail.
Do you think this will now get you a fight with Rafael Marquez?
¿Piensas tú que esta pelea, esta acción te llevará a una pelea con Rafael Márquez?
Sí, la verdad yo ese tipo de peleas son las que busco porque yo quiero ser un ídolo para México. Primeramente Dios y Oscar quede convencido con esta pelea para ver si HBO todavía se interesa en mí para pelear el día de su función el 6 de mayo.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking for fights with Marquez and those type of fights. Hopefully HBO and Oscar happy with my performance so we can do in the future.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Mark, you were the sharpest at one time, but all blades get dull after a while. Is this it?
You know, first of all, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Auto Source, my sponsors. No, I don't think it's it. I guess every fighter says it's not it, but you know, Larry, I came down from 150 to make 118. I contributed a lot of that to the loss, but I take my hat off to him. He's a great fighter, very strong fighter. He's not as I thought he was more shifty than that, but he's the typical fighter, but he's strong and he got the job done.
Your father once said you were too small and too good to make the big bucks.
Yeah.
So do you feel now, having made a reputation, that you've earned the right to let your name go on young fighters' resumes and make some money now?
Well, of course, now I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put my name on anyone else's resume. But I have to go back home and give my fans in Washington, D.C. one fight, a farewell fight. But I'm looking forward to working with different promoters as far as managing and promoting. But, hey, you know, Larry, this is the things that happen in boxing. I had a great career, you know. So I'm truly happy, and I came out and did my all. But the weight problem will really kill me.
Thank you so much, Mark. And as you noted, JB, he said he had a great career.
All right, Larry.